Hello everybody. We are back tonight. We have another wonderful story to be able to share with you. I'm hopeful that Emilee's here. I totally forgot to double check with her to see if she was ready. So this may just be the announcement that we're coming soon. If she's not ready, I might just hop back off and be back with her. But I just want to share real quick, one of the things that I love about Young Living is the people that I've met and the chance to be able to do life with them and be able to share our lives with you is such a treat, and I'm really excited. So I see Emilee's here, but I'm wondering what she's watching on, because Emilee, I can't add you, so you might have to be on a different device now that I see that. It is really exciting to be able to share things that I feel really passionate about, and one of them is non-toxic living. So about 3 years ago was when I started looking into non-toxic living. And I have to be honest, I was just sitting down talking with a friend of mine today about it, and about how important it is to make choices that are going to be beneficial for your health and the health of your household. Because the numbers are crazy right now. The numbers that we're seeing for different types of cancers, different types of disease and immune issues, autoimmune issues. And I think that that is something that we all need to be really aware of, because we can do something about it. We can make different choices, and we can really help our homes make great choices. So I'm excited to be able to share some of the choices that Emilee has made. I think I'm going to be able to add you now. And how she's helped her family, and how she kind of learned a little bit about making those choices. So I invited you, Emilee, so I think that that can work if you're there. And I'd love for everybody, as you're here tonight, if you have some ideas on things that you'd like to learn a little bit about in the future, to just let us know. Hi.
Hi.
I think that's working.
Yeah, we're on my phone, and I wasn't planning on this, so I'm hoping it doesn't move. I'll set it down. Okay.
Yeah, I meant to explain that the computer doesn't have the same add function as phones.
Got it. Okay.
I'm glad we got it worked out. So
Yeah, it's slower than what I want, but it's good.
okay.
There we go. Okay.
Thank you for being here. And
Sure. Thanks for me.
I'm really excited for everybody to hear your story and to hear a little bit about how you got started on this journey. So if you want to just jump right in and go ahead and share.
Sure. This takes me back to about, 3 years now. When I first got pregnant, I realized that I was 100% responsible for, a little baby growing inside of me. And it made me really aware of the products that I was using on my body and the products that I was using around my house. I started flipping over labels, and I was really unhappy about some of the ingredients that I was reading and researching, and how so many of them were toxic and kind of scary for, growing a baby. So I think the cleaning stuff really caught me by surprise, because I know my husband doesn't have asthma, but, just spraying things around my house, like, he would respond so negatively to that. I'd have to open my windows and my doors just to clean. And I knew I didn't want to have that around little lungs whenever I had my daughter. So I knew that there had to be a different way. But at the time, I wasn't sure that essential oils existed. But whenever I went to group and you were diffusing there, I love the way that I felt when I left, and I love the way that they smelled, and I was like, oh my gosh, I found the answer that I've been stressing about for months while I was pregnant. And I knew right then and there that I wanted to get started with essential oils, and it has just been an awesome journey so far. It's really cool finding different things that work for me and my family, and let the journey continue. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
How did you get started? What was the first step that you took?
Well, I knew my basement had an odor to it, so I knew I definitely wanted, something for that. And I had a really fussy toddler, and I knew I wanted a reason to kind of help us through those situations. And I just knew that the premium starter kits had 11 different oils in it, and it really gave me, options. I think that's the best word, because I
Mhm.
first thought I wanted, maybe one or two oils. I really didn't know much about essential oils, and just being a part of the whole essential life community since I bought a Young Living starter kit, that has really opened up my eyes and helped support me in all the ways that I can use my oils. Um, so that support alone was the reason why I got the kit, because I don't think I would have been able to do it on my own. And the research that I find online is really misleading. So it's nice that I can have a place to go to for all of my questions for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is something that being a part of that community has provided for you? What specifically?
Recipes. I know if I have an idea of something, instead of reaching for medicines or reaching for, um, other products in my house, I think, maybe there's an oil for that. And I go into the group and I search and it comes up with recipes. You have been such a great resource, just asking you about what you have used, because you've been using essential oils for quite some time now, so you're very knowledgeable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it also gives me ideas on what to try next, because I know although the kit's amazing, there are lots of things beyond the kit that, I have incorporated into my life. And it's so easy, because at first, it felt like such a challenge to incorporate all these oils, but when you really start replacing things and you find routines, and before you know it, I don't go a single day without using an oil, and sometimes I don't even think about it. So, it gives me confidence to be in that group, and I have resources. So,
Mm-hmm. Um, and what are some specific oils that you have used that have kind of surprised you or maybe provided a solution that you didn't expect?
right. I feel like I go through some of the same oils pretty regularly, and there are maybe two or three oils like Copaiba and Panaway were the two in my kit that I wasn't really sure how I would use them. But just last week, I was experiencing some occasional aches, and I knew to look to those two oils from what I've read in the Essential Life group, that they can really help out with those aches. Um, and it really, really, really worked for me. So it was nice to have that option. And I didn't think Panaway would have been one of my favorites. And after using it on my neck and my back and my shoulders, it's one of my favorites now. So
It's funny.
really, really good oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um, what you have a young daughter. What are some of the key ways that you're using essential oils with her?
Right, she gets fussy. She's going to be 2 in May, so I know just diffusing lavender and lemon is not only one of my favorite scents, but it helps, calm everything down in our house. And the last 2 months or so have been really difficult with sleep. Um, I normally do lavender baths and diffuse, and it just didn't seem like that was working enough for us. She was really, really fussy, didn't want us to leave her side, um, and was waking in the middle of the night. So, in order, to get some sanity, my husband and I brought her into our bed, and I knew that wasn't really the right option for us, and I wanted her back in her crib because I knew that that was the safest place for her. So we started diluting lavender and putting that on the bottoms of her feet, and that was one of the biggest wow moments for me with essential oils, because our routine started getting much easier to put her down. She didn't really give us much of a hard time, and before we knew it, she's back in her crib. So I am like all praise about lavender with little kids. I think it's such an awesome oil. It's one thing to read about some of the benefits, but to actually experience that felt so great as a mom to know that, we broke all let me think, 2, 3, 4 bad habits in, a few days.
Yeah.
So that felt, yeah.
That's awesome. And it's such like lavender is a common one too. So it's one that a lot of people are familiar with. And I don't know did you have much experience with lavender before you started using Young Living's lavender?
Yes. Whenever I first moved into my house, I bought um, lavender from, I think it was a Whole Foods. It said it was pure, so I trusted that. And we would put it into our vent. And whenever the AC would kick on, it would, radiate through our house. And I thought it smelled good. But whenever I switched to Young Living, I got used to what pure essential oils really smell like. And I guess I left that essential oil in my basement because my husband put it in our vents, and as soon as our air kicked on, I was like, what is that smell? It definitely was not lavender. Gave me a headache, and it just smelled really off to me. So again, the pure thing was really misleading, but I'm glad that I have, an essential oil company that I can trust and I know is 100% pure. So Young Living lavender definitely does not smell like any other store-bought lavender that I have tried. So yeah.
I agree. It was one of those aha moments for me because I used to loathe all things lavender and I couldn't stand the smell of lavender lotions and soaps and all those. And I love the Young Living lavender. I have a bottle of it sitting right here.
Yeah.
It's definitely an eye-opening moment when you have those kinds of experiences and then it works and it does what it says
Yeah.
it's to do. It's not just about a scent.
Yeah.
So that's a really important thing.
Yeah.
What was kind of one of those things that helped you along your journey to feel more empowered? What was something?
I actually, there was an app that I used called Think Dirty, and that helped me kind of scan the products that I use, and it let me realize, like, which products to get rid of and which products really were full of chemicals that were not good for us. So I just felt so awesome being able to find different recipes to replace my hand soaps, to replace my cleaning supplies, to replace, my air fresheners. And that alone just made me feel empowered because I knew I wasn't exposing my family to all these chemicals. And that app, it's so easy to use. It's free, and I take it with me when I go shopping, and you can scan products. And I got rid of, 90% of my cleaning products in a single day just by swapping out and using Thieves Household Cleaner. I know that comes in the premium starter kit in a sample. That has really saved me. And I know a lot of people talk about Thieves. Smells really good. It reminds me of like Christmas in a way. It's like cinnamon based. So that has helped me feel empowered a lot.
That can replace a lot of different things with that
Yes.
one concentrated cleaning solution. And Mandy was wondering how you use Copaiba.
I use that topically. I normally add it with another oil because it helps magnify the benefits from it. And I know some people say that diffusing it, it can cause, or not cause, it helps promote like a calming atmosphere. So you can diffuse it or use it in topically. So I dilute it with coconut oil and with Panaway. That's what I tried it with. And my husband helped me with a back massage and a neck massage, and I was feeling great in no time. So I heard it's a good skin oil. I also added into my nightly face roller with other skin oils that really help with my face complexion. So it's definitely one that I'm starting to use more frequently because great benefits from that one. So
I love that one. They added that to the starter kit after I had my kit, and I quickly got it and love that it's in the kit now because it's one of those unsung heroes where if someone starts to use it, they quickly realize it's great for joints, it's great for your whole body wellness. it's kind of a mild scent too, so it's great for people who are a little bit frustrated by strong scents or are turned off by that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the oils in Stress Away. So I don't know how you feel about
Oh,
Stress Away.
Stress Away, I know you've joked that it's called mom oil. It's named that for a reason. I feel like that's one that I have with me at all times. Um, rub it on your wrist. I even put it in my hair as a perfume because I love the scent of it. But with a toddler, you need stress away oil in your life. For obvious reasons. Yes.
And as they start, I actually really would carry that in my bag and use that on my young kid too, because my daughter was 2 when I got started, so I used that right on her. So,
Yeah.
so mom and kid oil even. Really helpful. Is there anything that you think, so one of the things that I know we've chatted a lot about that I wanted you to weigh in on were some of the anxieties or the safety concerns that moms can tend to have, or even just tend to have when they first get started with essential oils. And I was curious what your current perspective is on that and how you've been feeling about that.
Yeah, I typically am pretty cautious about using things on my daughter, but one thing that I keep telling myself, think about all the other chemicals that are in cleaners that people use, on a day-to-day basis and don't even realize it. The products that we put on our kids, the scented soaps, all that is not great for their skin or their bodies or their development. So many of the chemicals, if you look into it, are really disturbing. So I just know to go slow. I don't use a whole lot, dilutes. There are charts out there that help you with dilution. And I just started with very gentle oils for babies, like lavender. Frankincense is another good one, too. I recently just diffused that one, to help promote clear, happy breathing. And you just kind of find what works for you and what you feel comfortable with. And no one is telling me, oh, you have to do this with your kids. You have to use it this way. I kind of just embraced what works for me. And I've researched in the group and found recipes that resonate with me and that I think I would feel comfortable using with my daughter. And I really feel like you just have to try it. Just have to give it a shot and trust. Just trust what you're doing. And where you start today, you'll see that you're, really far ahead, months from now. I feel like whenever I first started, I was overwhelmed about everything. And now I feel like, hey, let's try this option. Let's try this option. So it's just been a kind of experiment, but it's been a very positive experience.
Yeah. And I think that one of the other aspects to that is that searching in the group, we're really careful about what gets put in our support group, in the Essential Life group, and try to make sure that it's always good advice. And whereas Pinterest and Google can be a little bit challenging. So, even people sometimes they'll take recipes from Pinterest and Google and put them into the group and say, does this actually look like good advice? Is this really would use this way?
See, Ashley just said that she uses frankincense almost every night for her little Hank. So I have frankincense and lavender diffusing right behind me right now. It's definitely a routine that we get to kind of help us calm down at night. So yay for oils and babies.
Yeah, I know. I'm so jealous of all you got started so young because, my son was 5 when we finally introduced essential oils. And when I think back on all the times that I could have avoided over-the-counters or I could have avoided stress about different situations just by having that collection and that arsenal, man. I wish you had told me about it sooner, and I wish I had taken the
Yes.
So, well, I'm so glad that you were able to join us. Are there any other specific things that really have stood out to you recently that you know others would appreciate?
I would say just the whole support from the group is awesome. All the friends that I've made have been really helpful. And I even started, looking into Young Living as more of a business. I never thought that I would say that, but Being a stay-at-home mom, my focus was my daughter, and I'm also a teacher. So my heart was also in the classroom, but I had a really hard time being in two places at once. When I was at home, I wanted to be teaching. When I was teaching, I wanted to be at home. And I decided, being a stay-at-home mom was the right choice for me. And just sharing about Young Living has really kind of given me purpose beyond being a mom as much as I love it. And just helping other people and just, finding needs that others have and trying to find, safer options for them has been really fulfilling. And this whole community has just really brought a whole new light to just being a stay-at-home mom because I feel like I'm always cooped up, and I feel like I've made so many friends just through this, and I can't see where this takes me, and it's been really exciting so far. So
That's awesome. It's so true. Being an at-home mom can really be kind of isolating sometimes, or
yeah,
things where you're really on your own as an adult with another little person, and
hmm
and it's so true. Having that community can really, and a
yeah,
community that's focused on something so positive and uplifting. I
hmm
think that's a big difference. It's all
yeah,
about and educating and helping people find greater wellness. Um,
yes.
so I appreciate your willingness to do that, and I know that those who you have educated also do too. Um, and I thank you so much for taking your time tonight too.
Sure. Yeah, thanks, Megan. It was really fun. So,
Absolutely. Well, I look forward to learning more from you and hearing more about your journey and seeing where it does head.
all right, sounds good.
Have a great night.
Bye, everybody. You too. Bye.